everyone, welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda, and today we're going to talk about a few books that I have just finished. Some of them are Regency, some are not. You know what I'm like. All right, so the first one I read was actually a Christmas story, but I feel like it didn't. I mean, although it kind of ended around Christmas, it didn't really feel like a Christmassy book. So I feel like you could read this any time of the year, really. But it was good. It was called Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. And it's about a woman named Melody and a guy named Beat, and they were named by their mothers. Pretty common, but their mothers had been a singing group, kind of like Heart or something like that. And so they, at the time that they were getting ready to have the children, they were still part of the singing group, and they decided to name their children the same or something similar. So the group had a falling out, and the two women no longer speak to each other. The group broke up, and so their children never really got to be, never grew up around each other. But they've spent their whole lives answering all those questions of like, why did the group break up? And do you think they'll get back together? And, what happened with your mother? And, those sort of things. You coming up? Okay. And so they've dealt with that their whole life. So eventually, when they're I think teenagers, they do get to meet and kind of have this instant attraction to each other. And but they don't see each other again for 20 plus years. So I think that they had carried that with them, that one meeting, for 20 some years, because this each other is the only person who would understand kind of what they had went through or what they were going through. So now there's something going on, and they end up needing to do kind of a, yeah, missing the word. Um, they need to have like a live streaming thing going so that the world can see them as they try to get their mothers back together in this band. So, not an easy thing. They both agree that it'll probably never work, but if it works, they get $1 million. So that's, pretty attractive. So they go through all of this, and as all of this happens, they also start to fall for each other live. So it was really good. It does need the spice chart that I made a while back. I would call this a hot wings level spice. It has a couple of very spicy scenes in it. Otherwise, though, it's only the couple of scenes that really have that high amount of spice. So the attraction between them, was really obsessive and over the top, but in a good way, I guess. I was really enraptured by it because it also had like a lot of sweet, funny moments, where you just laugh out loud at some of the stuff that they say or the things that are going on, and some really good character growth for Beat and Melody. You kind of expect it from Melody just because of the way she starts out, but Beat looks super confident, but sometimes that's kind of a mask for other things. So a lot of good character growth for him too, and as well as their mothers, because their mothers are very uh, over the top, the way I'm sure maybe a lot of musical celebrities are. I don't know. But all in all, I thought it was a really good book. I would give it 4 to 5 stars. Basically because, like I said, I didn't feel any Christmas vibes at all from it, really and truly. But the story itself was good, and the romance was great. So that was the first one. Excuse me, I got Dudley on my lap here, so I'm trying not to disturb him too much. The next one was great. It was called Poor Decisions, and it's a Katie Murphy cozy mystery. And it was by Suzanne Bolden. And I actually got this as an ARC from the author, and so thank you for that. And it was really good. It's about Katie, who goes to visit her aunt and uncle who live in, I think it's, yeah, Seaside Cove, which I think they said was in Florida, but wouldn't swear to that. But they are trying to start an Irish pub. So the family is from Ireland, and they had moved to Florida, for the weather and all those things, but they have always dreamed of owning this Irish pub. So they have bought the local funeral home, what used to be the funeral home, and are turning it into this pub. And Katie shows up there. She's got her own issues, and she shows up there to see them. And while she's there, she figures she'll kind of give them a hand with all this, but nothing is going right. Everything is just a mess, and she's trying to help with all of this. And then someone ends up dead in the pub, and of course her uncle is a suspect. So now she has to try to sort that out, as well as whatever other problems are going on for them. So it's a really interesting mystery. I really enjoyed the small town. I like the fact that they were trying to get this pub up and running. And so through that, we meet a lot of the people in the town, including a couple who could be love interests for Katie going forward. You never know. And they also have a lot of like really nice friends in the town, including their neighbor who I think her name was Winnie, and she lives next door to them, and she's very quirky, very interesting character. She helps out. She lives alone. She helps out at the animal shelter and the library and different places. But she's really. I was trying to think who I would relate her to. She's got a really quick wit, and she's very outspoken. So she can be a lot of fun. So really, it had everything I could ask for in a cozy. It's got a great location. It's got a good plot, warm, friendly characters, a bit of found family for the aunt and uncle, as well as for Katie, because them not having, you know, been residents of that place for very long, and a little bit of possible romance. So I thought it was great, and really looking forward to seeing kind of where the author goes with the series. So I would give that one 5 out of 5. So the next one is we're back to Regency again. So this one is An Offer from a Gentleman by Julia Quinn. And I did not realize when I first started reading it that it was a Bridgerton book. I just kind of, I didn't see, I guess it's on there, but I didn't notice that it said Bridgertons. I just had been hearing the name, and Julia Quinn, who I knew wrote the Bridgertons, but I didn't make the connection. I don't know. Anyway, it was great. It was all about Sophie Beckett and Benedict Bridgerton. So Sophie is she sneaks into this masquerade ball at the Bridgertons, and she's the daughter of an earl, but she is his illegitimate daughter, so it doesn't hold much weight in Regency times. And her father has passed away, and she's kind of living a Cinderella type story. And so she sneaks out this night and she goes to this masquerade ball. And of course, Benedict is enchanted by her. And she escapes at the end of the ball, not to be seen again. And he spends a lot of time looking for her and thinking about her. And eventually they do meet up again under totally different circumstances, and he doesn't recognize her. So it's all about their relationship and how they start to kind of find each other all over again, and what they're going to do about it, because again, she is not of his social class, supposedly. So I have thought, I do watch the Bridgertons, and I have thought that it would be. I was looking forward to Benedict's story because I didn't know what it was, and I always thought during the Bridgertons that he really kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to different plots and things. Like he was kind of a just a playboy extra character kind of thing. So I'm anxious, to see his love story on the screen as well, especially after reading this. And it was so great to actually read the book, because Hollywood takes poetic license over a lot of things. And I really enjoyed Julia Quinn's writing. This is the first thing I've read of hers. And I do have, I think, one of the other Bridgerton books on my shelf, excuse me, and maybe one more in my Kindle. So either way, I'm going to go back and find those and read them, because I think I think the books do a much better job with the stories than Hollywood does. So I really like that, and I thought her vision of the Bridgertons and the way that she describes the Regency era and stuff, I thought it was so well done. So it took it to a whole new level for me. So for me, that one was 5 out of 5. So the next one was another Regency. See, I'm getting there. This one was A Lady's Guide to Etiquette and Murder, and it's number one in the Countess of Harley books. So this one's about Frances Quinn, and she's the American-born Countess of Harley, which is a place, I guess. And so she was married to Reggie, and Reggie was a philanderer, and so he ends up passing away, and in the way that you would think a philanderer would pass away. And we'll just leave it at that. You can read the book. But what happens is she's then left with living with her in-laws, who are, they don't have any money and they want what she has. So they're very money grubbing, and they're always trying to get money out of her and things. She does have a daughter. I don't think they tell me the daughter's name, and I can't remember it. But she does have a young daughter. So after the year of mourning is done, she takes her daughter and she moves and leaves them with the house, but she takes what she needs and she takes her money and she moves into town. And so she's living there with her daughter, but of course her in-laws are not happy about this. And so they start, trying to spread rumors and trying to get the body exhumed, or someone is, like she has all these things going on and she's not really sure who's doing this, but it seems to be affecting things. And so then her sister comes to town too, and she's going to bring her out in her first social season. So there's a lot going on. She has to worry about whatever her in-laws are up to, if they're up to something. She's not even sure, because she can't she doesn't know if they're who's to blame for this, or if it's someone else entirely. Maybe someone who's, seen her sister and part of that social season, has no idea. So all of this is going on and she's trying to deal with it. And there's, a handsome man next door who's, trying to help her. And a lot of little pieces here and there that you can't quite put together. And she can't quite put together either. So it was a really good plot, and she's as she tries to help her sister with all of these complications going on, it just keeps getting worse, and she just doesn't know who to trust. So really like that aspect of it, her trying to navigate the world on her own, where she hasn't really done that before, and then a lot of dissension among, friends and family and things, who are telling her like, no, just move back home, so it's very interesting that way. And I did give it 4 out of 5 stars, because there are a lot of characters in it, and at times I did find it a little hard to keep track of them, but otherwise I thought it was great. And then I did have one that I'm not going to say much about. It was a DNF. It was The Mask of Duplicity. And I put it on my list because, for one thing, I just thought the cover was beautiful. And I was hoping the story was too, but it was too graphic for me. So I DNF'd it after only a few pages. Usually I give it a little longer. But I was really looking forward to this one. But in the prologue, it starts with a lot of discussion about an assault and a stabbing of a woman. And then chapter one, the same, might be the same character, I'm not even sure, but they're talking about assaulting a maid. And it just, I stopped there. It was like, okay, maybe there'll be a hero that sweeps in and fixes everything. I don't know, but I wasn't going to go along for that ride. And I did, after I had DNF'd it, I did go and look at a couple of the reviews on Goodreads, and I guess there is an even more graphic scene later on in the book. So I was glad that I stopped when I did. So if that sort of thing doesn't bother you, I mean, it may turn out to be a great book. It just wasn't for me. So in general, I think it's been a pretty good reading month so far. Most of those were, high numbers, and yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing. Again, it's going to be a mix. I still have a couple of arcs to go through, and I'm still trying to listen to the ones on Audible that did I really want to listen to before my subscription is up. So I'm trying to go through those quickly as well. So the only other thing was I had told you before, I'm trying very hard to remember to do the little wrap up about what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, what I'm looking forward to. So I'll do a little bit of that. And the first thing that we're watching, we are currently watching the food truck race, and it's been on for, I don't know, like 20 some seasons on Food Network. We didn't start, well, we were going to start at the beginning, but when it came up on the very first season, it's so old that it's square like the TVs were. And so it's like, well, we maybe don't need to go back that far. So we're starting with the 2021 and kind of going from there, but we're enjoying it. It's fun to see them race around in their food trucks, and and there are times that everybody, I don't know, maybe not everybody, but I mean, I like to cook, so there are times that I think, oh, that would be, a fun job, but it'd also be a lot of work. So I don't know, but it's enjoyable to watch. And I'm listening to a lot of things like music with autumnal vibes. I'm trying to make like an autumn playlist, and so I'm listening to different things and trying to decide what to me says autumn. Like just because it has autumn in the title or something like that, it doesn't always scream autumn to me. So trying to, figure out what I like when it comes to that sort of thing. But it's been fun. It gives me a reason to bring up my Spotify and play with it. And what I'm looking forward to fall decorating because I still haven't got it done yet. It's all downstairs in the storage room, so this weekend I'm going to see if Wonderful Husband can bring it up for me. It's far too heavy for me to carry, and looking forward to getting that up and starting to feel the fall vibes more. Um, the weather's been kind of, I mean, I know we're getting a lot of cooler nights, and that would make me feel like fall, but the days for the most part are still fairly warm. So I don't think, maybe I'll feel differently once I get things decorated, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. Um, I need to, have the decorations up, and I need to, I don't know, involve myself more in it. And then it's not for a few weeks, but I know a lot of people, when I look at their videos, they're also, kind of planning the whole Halloween thing, the spooky season, as they call it. But uh, we have Thanksgiving in October in Canada. So for us, we concentrate on Thanksgiving first and then go into the spooky season. So kind of, thinking along the lines of all those things and looking forward to those. So that's what's going on here. I have, a not too busy day today, which I'm going to enjoy, and going to reach out to my sister and get together for a little coffee and a chat, and that's my excitement. So hope you have a great day, friends, and hope you found something there that you thought was interesting, and want to check into more. So I will talk to you soon. All right, bye bye.